What up, guys? Artforge here. Welcome to another video. today, today I'm going to be showcasing currently what my thoughts and opinions for the season 11 League of Legends via PowerPoint, and kind of just overall what I have done to kind of prepare myself for the new ranked season that has come out today. Let's get right into this. For anyone who for anyone who's new to League, wants to kind of learn about this, if anyone's watching this, hopefully you'll be able to learn something from this, or even if you play this game for a decent amount of time, you can learn a little bit from this. Anyway, let's get right into this. So the overview of Season 11. So Season 11 has changed how how the auto shop works, with major item updates, releases, removals, and reworks to every single item in the shop, which overall has helped have more build diversity than previous seasons, in which even in season there's still developments of new creative item builds that people can make for their champions. There's always going to be continuous shifts in the meta, as it always should be in a game like League of Legends, and for me personally, a new champion lineup. So season 9 and season 10, most of those two seasons, I've played Echo, Kayn, and Pyke, Kayn, and Sylas. Those are three champions I've played the most. Now I've driven off from that lineup because one, Echo has just been overbuffed. He's overbuffed to a point where he's one of the most overpowered champions in the game, especially with the new items. He just does way too well with the new items, especially as an AP assassin, especially as a magic damage assassin. Echo is also not really fun for me at all, and I don't think Echo's that hard to learn. He is not. He is pretty easy to play, in my opinion. So and Kayn, I don't really like Kayn anymore, and same thing with Sylas. So next slide, we're going to be talking about the champion lineup that I will be having. Let's go right into it. So my champion lineup consists of Ahri as my main and Gnar as my secondary pick, as my secondary / first pick. If I am forced to be first pick, I will pick Gnar. I'll pick Gnar. So in terms of difficulty, in my opinion, I put Ahri difficulty around 7.5. The reason why I put difficulty for Ahri is around the 7.5 is because her combos are pretty easy to execute. It's not that hard for her to execute those abilities. However, the thing that makes her a bit hard is most of her main two abilities, her Q and her E, are skill shot reliant and have a pretty moderate speed cast time. So it isn't too hard to dodge, especially if you're a champion with a lot of blinks, like Echo, Katarina, and or any dodgeable ability like Fizz, Zed. A lot of these assassins can easily just dodge, in which the other thing that also makes Ahri pretty difficult is positioning. As an AP mobile mage, in terms of positioning, it's way too important. It's a lot more harder to position with her than with immobile mages, and the reason for this is because because of how much mobility that she has. Technically, if she gets jumped on by any other assassins or anyone that wants to kill her, that's kind of on her. You can't really blame the team because she has what she needs to be able to get out of those situations. Well, immobile mages, they can play pretty far out. They don't need to be near the fight at all. And the other thing is just Ahri's defensive stats are pretty low, so it's pretty easy to kill her. when she mispositions. So that's the other thing that kind of makes Ari a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult, especially when you go higher into the ranks. It's pretty easy to abuse Ari early on because, like, because most players in that rank will know how to beat Ari in the early game pretty easily. So yeah, that's kind of why I put Ari's difficulty as around a 7.5. Gnar, I put him at 8.5 because you have to manage your fury, you have to manage like when you change form, like and how you will and like kind of like and Gnar early game is really bad. It's pretty bad. Uh, and a lot of people keep getting baited into into thinking that Mega Gnar early on is really good when most of the time it's not. So just be aware of that. But yeah, in which even Mega Gnar, he's still a kite oriented champion. So in terms of like mobility, in terms of like how he has to play as a on during team fights, it's a bit more difficult since there are times when he has to play like as a backliner, and then there are times when he has to play as a frontliner when he turns into Mega. So so playstyle with Gnar keep constantly changes depending on when he changes his form. So that's why I put him at around 8.5 difficulty. So now we're going to talk about builds. So for Ari, the rune page that I personally will go the most, that I personally like the most is Electrocute, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Ultimate Hunter. Electrocute just helps Ari with her burst damage, especially early on. Taste of Blood allows her to be able to sustain in lane against champions. She can so that she can stay in lane a bit longer. Eyeball Collection just help with like her snowballing potential, be able to get as many kills as possible with Eyeball Collection. Ultimate Hunter allows her to be able to use her ult a lot more often because Ari is very reliant on her is pretty reliant when in terms of kiting. Ari's way too reliant on her ult, so Ultimate Hunter helps her be able to use her ult more efficiently. The other two items I go, the other two runes I go is the Inspiration Tree of Magical Footwear for the extra movement speed that I get from the boots, and Mini Demilitarizer for early wave clear, for early wave clear, so that I can shove waves a lot more easily, be able to gain uh, mid pro lot, lot faster, so that I'm able to roam, help out my team lot more. So that's why I go. That's why I go Mini Demilitarizer. For the stat runes, you go attack speed, adaptive force, and armor / magic resist depending on the matchup. The reason why you go attack speed on Ari instead of double adaptive force is because attack speed allows you as a mage to be able to farm a lot more easily, especially with auto attacks, because you don't want to keep because for a champion like Ari who is really mana hung, who tends to if you don't you if you spend your you keep wasting your ability you keep wasting your abilities, you will run out of mana fairly quickly. So yeah, don't. So that's why attack speed allows you to just mostly focus on auto attacking. That allows you to grab more minions a lot more easily. For builds, for the item builds, I have 3 builds that I've played with already. These ones are my favorite ones I go. So for the first one is team fighting. This for team oriented build is Liandry's Anguish as the mythic item. Then the other, then Zana's Hourglass, Morellonomicon, Zana's Hourglass for survivability, burst negation, Morellonomicon to deal with like to deal with champions that will heal a lot, large amounts of healing. Raleig's Crypto Scepter for being able to slow enemy champions so that you can you can make it easier to catch up to them, and also land your abilities. Rhino Zedcap for scaling and extra burst damage, and Sorcerer Shoes for extra for flat magic penetration, especially against ADCs or assassins. For Now the second one, which is if you're like, this is where I go if I'm like probably ahead I want better scaling. I'll go Luden's Tempest for the mythic item, Zona's Hourglass for survivability, Cosmic Drive to be able to allow Ari to be able to move a lot more quickly whenever she uses her abilities, be able to kite a lot more frequently, and with the ability haste that Cosmic Drive has, it allows her to be able to spam her abilities a lot more. Magi Solstier, obviously, if I'm ahead and I want to be able to snowball as hard as I can, I would go Magi's. Rabadon's Death Cap for bonus scaling and burst, and Cirque Shoes for magic penetration. The last build, which I usually will go for fun, if I just want to have fun, I will go Hextech Rocket Bell for burst for early for gap closing and burst damage. It's actually kind of fun. Zaro's Glass, Cosmic Drive. I go Demonic Embrace for survivability. Baradon's Death Cap and Sork Shoes. But if just be aware, if you go Hextech Rocket Belt, you will lose so much mana. You'll lose way too much mana if you go Hextech Rocket Belt. So Ludens or Leandries. So just be aware of that if you want to go this build. So yeah, this is my Bufari. Alright, next up, Gnar. So for Gnar, her main runes consist of Conquer, Triumph, Legend Alacrity, and Last Stand. The reason why you go Conquer on Gnar is for team fighting, especially since Gnar can stack up Conquer pretty decently, and Triumph for survivability. Triumph for extra gold and survivability. Legend Alacrity help with its attack speed, especially as Mini Gnar, and Last Stand for because last stand just is overall just a generally better rune to take rather than Coup de Grace or even cut down. The other two, you guys are in the Domination Tree. It takes a Blood Ravenous Hunter for lane sustain survivability. Let it stay in lane for as long as possible. Okay, the other two, the stat runes that you take are attack speed, adaptive force, and armor / measures depending on the matchup. Attack speed helps Mini Gnar, mostly helps Mini Gnar. Not really that beneficial on Mega Gnar, but most of the time you'll be in Mini Gnar, so running attack speed will help a lot. Alright, so there are two builds for Gnar that I have. Well, I haven't really even played Gnar at all, but I'm going to be trying to. I won't be playing ranked for at least 2 days, or maybe even an entire week, just so that I can continue practicing, be able to improve my gameplay overall. So for Gnar, the Bruiser build which is his main build, which is usually the build that you want to go, which is usually his main build, is we will go Divine Sunder, Black Cleaver, Stark Gauge, Spirit Visage, Dormail, Plate Steel Caps, or Mercury Shards. Divine Sunder built for the passive, which gives you percent armor and magic penetration, which will help Gnar a lot. And it also grants healing whenever you attack with the Spellblade effect. The Spellblade effect will help Gnar a lot. Black Cleaver for armor reduction, and it's just a pretty decent stack item. Stark's Gauge for burst survivability. Spirit Visage when to deal with mages or AP or magic damage assassins, and for helping with Conquer and Triumph to be able to survive. Conquer, Triumph, and Taste of Blood Ravenous Hunter to be able to survive a lot more. And Thormail to deal with any auto attackers who anyone who so if you get attacked, you have Thormail, you'll be able to reduce their healing and revert a portion of your armor, have some the percentage of your armor deal damage back to the attacker, which with Thormail will help a lot with. For this is for on hit build. If you want to go more for attack speed type build, you can go Trinity Force, Black Cleaver, Blade of the Ruined King, Stark's Gauge, Wit's End, and Plated Steel Caps or Mercury Treads. So this is overall the build. This is the basic build for Gnar. I personally would go. Now, closing thoughts for season 11. So overall, as many as it should, we've learned a lot throughout preseason, especially with what I need to improve on in order to reach my rank goals for season 11. This includes dodging. Dodging, I need to try use dodging more frequently because literally season 9, season 10, I hated dodging. I did not want to dodge any of my games, even if it was a troll game. I did not want to dodge, which probably in some cases, if I didn't dodge, like if I dodge, I could give myself a better chance of having a better team, like stuff like that. Positioning team fights again, like that part, like is something I tend to struggle with because especially with the champions I'm going to have Ari and Gnar. Their Ari and Gnar positioning, like I mean, positioning overall is just important for every champion because you don't want to die and you want to be able to get the right target right people. But with Ari and Gnar, their positioning just great. With positioning, it's a lot harder. It's extremely hard, especially with Ari and Gnar in terms of their positioning. So being able to learn how to position myself better in team fights will help a lot. Staying calm even in the worst situations. Try like if teammates are getting toxic to me, like if I end up inting or whatever, I need to try to stay calm. Even if like I'm extremely far behind, I still need to do it. But if one of my teammates is ahead, I still need to do whatever it takes to help them be able to carry without me just ending up losing the game. And learning how to carry better and not take unnecessary risks that can lead to a loss. A lot. I need to try whenever I have a lead, I need to try to learn how to play a lot safer, a lot more careful instead of like instead of like going for a kill on someone that I've already killed like 13 times. Like I need to try to understand. I need to know that there's some like do not if there's someone that's like extremely far behind, don't go for them. They're not really worth it. Usually try to play safe, play smart because usually sometimes they could use that teammate as a way to bait you to get that one K gold shutdown, and you don't want that. Another thing, always do something before every game to warm up. This is something that a lot of people, especially me, don't really do. We just kind of just stare at the screen, like go like watch videos on our phones or whatever, like change our music, just or go on social media. Like we're not actually really doing anything to prepare for the next game. Like we met like like since I instead of just me just going on my phone playing like Egg Incorporation or watching League of Legends YouTube videos, I could just be doing work. I could be doing some exercise while I'm waiting. I could be doing push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, or just stretching, or maybe even meditate. Even meditate, just to help clear my mind for and keep a cool head for the that I can have, so I can always be positive, stay in a good positive mood for the next day, and that's the next point. Keep a positive attitude throughout games, which is something I still need to get better at. I still need to try to keep calm and just have a good mentality throughout the games because like I just need to understand like we're all humans. Like if they're trolls, they're trolls. It's whatever. Just report them, whatever. But just like if teammates are like actually having hard times, just support. Just I need to try to learn support them instead of just pushing them down because it's just not right. And next up, try to focus on my gameplay rather than others unless I have a legitimate slash reasonable deduction as to why I lost. So the legitimate reasonable deduction is only if like yes, someone is actually trying to troll the game. Then that or like someone's actually into the game or like someone doesn't even want to work with the team to win. That's when I can say, yeah, that's I can somewhat say this. But at the same time, I still need to focus on my gameplay because overall the game is overall like even like still the game is technically still on me, not like on my team. It is still technically on me and whether I win or lose. It depends on what I do, how I play the game, how I position in team fights, how I use my macro, how I play around the macro. Like if I need a split push, I split push on. I need a split push at good times. I need to try position better. especially when object like Drake's or Baron is up. Like I need to try position much better, and instead of focusing on my teammates who are extremely far behind, just don't really care, just like giving up. And lastly, play more. And last but not least, play more ranked games and focus on other aspects of life other than video games to improve myself physically and mentally. So like, just overall, I just need to play more ranked games. I don't play as much ranked games as I should, and like overall, I don't play games for fun. I put and like you guys don't know me. I don't play games for fun. I play games as a thing is like this is another thing of life that I want to improve on. This is another thing in life that I want to improve on. So I don't really play games for fun, to be honest. But whenever I can, if I'm playing with friends, then yeah, I'll try to have fun. But most of the time, if I'm playing by myself, I don't try to have fun. I try to constantly think. I always try to constantly focus on improving different parts of the game because like some parts of the game can represent who I am in real life. But overall, I need to try make sure I keep my focus on school and sports, just and my mental health overall, so that I can live a better life in the future. Anyway, that's good. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you learned. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope this is something that you can take away. Overall, all I can say is just good luck in your ranked games. I hope you guys reach your ranked goals for the season, for the for season 11, in which I definitely am going to do whatever it takes to make sure I reach my rank goals to be able to get to those points. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.